This is what I get every morning. Getting quite a few autumn leaves down here now, so I guess that means won't be long now. That tree will be naked. We'll be chopping wood every day and having fires, and I gotta admit I really like winter. Okay, it is a sunny day so far, and here is the guitar in the sun. See all that lovely looking. See, I said it's lovely. Normally, if there was like water trickle on a guitar finish, I'd be like pulling my hair out. But it looks really cool on this rustic product. We want this guitar to look a bit messed up. This is the front. I'm really happy with it. So the front, I reckon, is pretty much 100%. I want the back to be a bit darker. And I'll show you the original, the one we're copying, so you'll see why I'm sort of going for the look I'm going for, and why I'm not worried at all that it's kind of looking a bit dodgy, because you should see his ones. Here's the headstock and neck. Love that red patina. Yep, that's looking great. So all that remains to be done now on that guitar is just basically cut the headstock, sand the body, oil the body. I'm going to oil it rather than lacquer or clear coat it or anything. I'm just going to oil it so that it's really rustic looking and feeling, and then I need to relic the chromeware. Just the control cavity cover needs to be done to match the other chromeware. Shim the neck up, and because the neck doesn't quite fit properly, it needs to kind of be adjusted and placed correctly in the pocket of the body. And then just assemble, put all the hardware on, put the strings on, tuner up, and a few adjustments to the action and so forth, and then I can mail it to Andy. Sweet.
Now this recipe, you can add things to it. It's pretty standard. It will change a little bit of form every now and again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it, I've taken the lid off, and I've put that in for about 35 minutes.
Oh wow. So here is the loaf. Look at that baby. So basically the instructions are 2.5 hours from when it went in here, which was 2:30. I put it in the fridge, which is that away, and then I leave it there until tomorrow and take it out, put it on the bench here, and I wait until it rises, and it's apparently supposed to come to about this height of the paper here, and at that point I bake it, baby. Yeah, so that's going to be really yummy. Thank you, Mardi, for teaching me how to do that, make sourdough bread. It will be a good thing, a good addition to our life here, to be able to be creating bread on a daily basis. And that's really why I went to the workshop, because I really want to learn how to create bread for Baxter and myself. So we've always got healthy bread, and I'm not going out and buying the stodgy crap that they try and, you know, peddle at the supermarkets. You know, the only real alternative is buying severely expensive bread which is fine, but you don't really want to keep doing that. And hey, it's such a therapeutic and wondrous thing to create your own bread, you know. And that's part of my lifestyle now, so thank you. In an earlier video I promised that I would explain a little of the story of how I came to be in Mullaney, and a little of how I've come to be leading the lifestyle I am. And I haven't done it yet, so I thought I'd do it now at the end of this video. I used to work full-time, as a lot of us do, and I did that because of the birth of my son Baxter, and I knew that I had to go make money, more money, so I went out there, started working full-time, which I did for many years, and I was never happy. You know, I mean, I was happy, I was secure, I had income, I was comfortable, but I was never happy. I was always uncomfortable at work, and one day I was feeling particularly mouthy. There was a situation at work where things were very unstable, and the long and the short of it is, they weren't paying the bonuses. They were only paying the retainer, you know, and they hadn't paid bonuses for months, and I was getting to the point where I started to feel like every heartbeat, every breath had a number on it. You know, I'm only worth X amount of money, that's it, done. And no matter how hard I work, I cannot make it anymore. I started to feel like every waking hour was demanded in exchange for a roof over my head, in exchange for food in my belly, food in my child's belly, in exchange for just the basics of life. Every waking hour demanded in exchange for the simplest of human rights. And you know, hey, it does kind of boil down to that on the minimum wage. And it made me realize slavery never got abolished. It's still kind of slavery. It's masked as this, you know, you've got a job, you know, you're making money, but it's carefully sorted out so that you can never quite make enough money to plan to escape from it. You can just make enough money to make ends meet, to eat, to have a roof, to pay your bills, but you can never save. You can never have enough to escape it. And it dawned on me, this is intentional. Because it's bad economy to pay people enough so that they can leave. You're going to train more staff. It doesn't make any sense from in a business perspective. If you're seeing people as numbers, why would you pay them enough to leave? You don't want them to. So I hated that. And the only thing that made that job humane in this frame that I'm talking about was the bonuses, because if you did well, you would be able to make a pretty good income. So anyway, I was mouthing off one day. There was some new employees and they were talking excitedly, and I quite cynically remarked, yeah, but you won't get your bonuses anyway. Don't worry about it. We're expendable around here. They don't care. And one of the goody two-shoes senior staff, who was hired after me, I might add, but that's another story, and younger than me or whatever, when it daubed on me, I saw her leaving the room, snickering, not snickering, but looked at me and significantly and left the room, and I thought she was my friend, you know. Well, anyway, so I got called into my boss's office, sat down, and he handed me a document and said, read Article 7B. I read Article 7B, and it was something about thou shalt not slander the company. I knew what I'd done. I stood up and I looked him in the eye, and he just about shot himself. And I said, look, I want you to know, and he was like, oh shit, here we go. That I respect you, and I have done the wrong thing, and I'm happy to leave now. He couldn't believe it. He said to me, look, I wasn't going to give you a referral, but because you're being so gracious, I will. So if you need a referral, call, email me, and I'll give you one. I said, thank you very much. I went and cleaned out my desk, maintained all the dignity I could, because I knew I'd done the wrong thing, but at the same time, hey, come on. I'd done it for reasons of self-preservation, self-respect. So goodbye to whoever was there that day, and went and picked up my son from kindy. And when I walked into his kindy, he was only 3 or something. His eyes lit up, and I'm like, I'm here to get you, kid, let's go. He couldn't believe it. Oh, Dad, okay, let's go. Wait, where are we going? To the park. And it led to this moment where I was lying down in the grass, and it was just on nightfall, and there were birds flying overhead, and Baxter was sitting on my chest, and we were just calmly there. And it occurred to me, you know, if I hadn't just been fired, I would be sitting in an office right now, trying desperately to care about what it is I've been told to care about for the basic human rights of food, shelter, a bit of petrol, maybe a bit of luxury, and I'm not in an office pretending to care. I am sitting in a park with my son. That's life. And in that moment, I thought, okay, I'm an artist and I know how I am, I always have been. My challenge and my goal, my pledge, is to make the same and then more money make the same or more money as I was making in that full-time job by being free, by being who I am, by being me, and by giving the things that only I can give, by giving of what I have to offer. And in that moment I saw, you know, people sitting, writing with a view from an attic, or creating computer programs, software, making pottery, making websites, people creating product, bringing nature into it. Freelancers, people who create art in their own space, in their own time, on their own grounds, writing literature, creating software, making art, building guitars, making music. And the thing that makes it valuable, apart from the art itself, is this. Nature. Allowing some freedom in. Because everybody needs that. Most people are going to be in that 9-to-5 trap. They just are. And if I can give who I am through this lens, then I'm offering something of value to the world. And I'm still not there. I'm still not there, but not for 1 second have I faltered. Okay, that's not true. I've faltered, but I've never given up and never will. I'm going to close with a nautical theme, an adage that I love. It really helps me. The idea is the analogy of our life is like a ship or a boat. And we're at sea, we have a destination, the far isles, the further shore, who we want to be, the life we want to lead. Now, the winds will change, the tides will change, the weather will surprise us. The boat may even spring a leak, the mast may break, the sail may tear. And you're going to have to change tack, but never destination. So when the wind changes, and it wants you to go that way, and you want to go that way, but the wind changes and starts to blow the boat that way, you change tack. You go with that wind, and you steer it slightly so that that wind catches your sail, and you are going the way you want it to go. Never change your destination. But it is a matter of course that you change your tack. Regularly, whenever necessary, man. And that can happen multiple times a day, multiple times a second even, but that's probably exaggeratory. That is a word, by the way. You just change your tack whenever you need to, but never your destination. I know my destination, I always have, and I will not change it. I will not change my destination, because why? Why don't we change our destination? Because it's us. Your vision of yourself is you. It's your higher self. No, yeah, but it's not about some kind of lofty spiritual ideal. This is about your ideal vision of yourself. Remember when you were a kid, you were filled with that feeling of like, life. I'm gonna do something with my life. Anything's possible. I've got so much time. And then you saw it. That feeling out in the night, in the city, doing things, meeting people, creating things. You know, having relationships with people, drinking expensive wine, having a wonderful view, being inspired, sharing inspiration. That's when you got to rewind. So if you're having trouble remembering or working out who it is that you want it to be, just sit down and be with yourself and remember when you were about 7, because you'll know, unless life wasn't that clear for you then. But I would wager that there is a time in your past that you could rewind to and remember that feeling. Search for it, and you'll get this sense of, that's who I want it to be. That's the further shore. That's the Fair Isles. And you're already sailing there. You don't have to set sail. Oh, I better get sailing. You're sailing. Thing is, you probably kept changing your destination because the wind changed. Oh, I better go this way then because I'm getting blown that way. A lot of people do that, end up on that shore, never happy. Change tack and go the way you were going. That's all from me. I love you all, and I will look forward to seeing you again soon.